So guys, something a little bit controversial. Chicken strips on your motorbike tyres. What's your thoughts on them? So, I know that when I first started riding, chicken strips used to be a massive thing, and I still like take piss a little bit sometimes today with my friends and stuff like that, but I've got fluff in my mouth. What's your thoughts on chicken strips? Like, I think if you know about riding, when you know what chicken strips are, it's basically on your tyre, on the edge of a tyre, you have obviously how far your lean angle is, and the thing is you can ride a bike and go around the corners, some very good corners, and still have chicken strips quite wide, or you can have no chicken strips whatsoever. I know there's always that stigma, there's always that, it's not even like, it's never been a serious thing, it's always like a bit of banter between your friends and stuff like that, but it's like, oh, you got chicken strips, you're not leaning over enough. And it's usually with sports bike riders who can get the knee down and stuff like that, and they say, oh buddy, you're not leaning enough. But if you go around corners properly, you don't have to get your knee down all the time. And that's coming from someone who used to get my knee down on sports bikes. And if I wanted to get my knee down on this, I could get my knee down on this. But I'll be honest with you, I'd have to be leaning my ass off of the bike and going down, and so what, you do that anyway, you go down to the side. But yeah, chicken strips, what do you think of them? Do you think it's a rite of passage? And to be fair, I think it is, like, a little bit. To me, like I said, it's a bit of banter between bikers and stuff like that. You like look at people's tyre and you go, oh, you got chicken strips, you're not leaning enough. And I'll be honest with you, I've always looked at my own wheels and thought, oh god, yeah, I'm not actually leaning enough here. Like, there's a load of gap there. To the point where on these tyres, because the newer tyres, there's like a green line, and there were two green lines on the back, and my aim was to get rid of the first green line. Like, I weren't leaning enough until that green line had gone, and now the green line's completely gone. There's one more which is further on, and if I'm leaning that far to get that off, when bloody hell the bike's on its floor, especially on these type of tyres. But I mean, for me, I think it's kind of like a confidence thing actually as well. Like, if you, obviously you've got to be careful if you're leaning over, you've got to make sure you've got enough grip and you've got enough speed to be able to lean over, and obviously if you're wanting to obviously counter steer, which is pushing on the sides when you're going around the corners, which, to be fair, I'll counter steer on here. I can guarantee I'll go around this corner now and I will scrape my toes on the floor going around. So I'm going around here now, going around, leaning over. Yep, my feet are on the floor, my side of my boots are on the floor, to the point where I'm pretty much scraping my peg. So I know that I'm leaning over, I know what the lean angle is really, and I don't think you'd understand that unless you knew about chicken strips, and unless you got the confidence to try and lean over a bit more to try and get rid of the chicken strips. And I think if